The opulent facade of Sean Diddy Combs' world began to crack. It happened on March 25, 2024. Federal agents descended. They raided his sprawling properties in Los Angeles and Miami. This was not a polite inquiry, it was a full-scale operation, the kind that signals deep trouble. The music mogul, a figure of immense power and influence, found himself at the center of a terrifying storm. The whispers that had followed him for years were about to become a public roar. The scale of the raid sent shockwaves through an industry built on image and illusion. This was a story of power, and potentially, its horrific abuse. Inside these luxurious fortresses, agents searched meticulously. They were not looking for minor infractions, they uncovered hard drives. These drives were reportedly packed with footage. News outlets described this footage as incriminating. The contents were said to be deeply disturbing. Beyond digital evidence, authorities found more. 9 AR-15 style weapons were discovered at Combs' Miami Beach home. Bags of pink powder suspected to be narcotics were also seized. Over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricants were cataloged. Each discovery added another layer to the darkening picture. The items hinted at a lifestyle far removed from the curated public persona. The discovery of hidden tapes sent a chill through Hollywood's elite. The potential for fallout was immense. These recordings could implicate high-profile celebrities. Names whispered in connection included Jay-Z and Beyoncé. If the contents became public, the damage could be catastrophic. Careers could end. Reputations, carefully constructed over decades, could shatter. The tapes represented a ticking time bomb. Their existence suggested a pattern of recording, perhaps for control or coercion. The fear was palpable. Who knew what secrets these digital eyes had witnessed? The powerful couple, icons of the music world, were suddenly linked, even if indirectly, to a deeply unsettling investigation. The raids were merely the beginning of Combs' public unraveling. On September 16, 2024, Diddy was indicted. The charges were severe, 3 counts including sex trafficking by force. His arrest followed swiftly. On September 24, he faced a federal court in Manhattan. Racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution were laid out. Diddy pleaded not guilty to all charges, yet the court deemed him a risk. Bail was denied. Allegations of anger issues, substance abuse, and potential witness tampering were cited. He was considered a danger to the community. The architect of Bad Boy Entertainment now resided in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, a stark contrast to his former life. The federal charges against Diddy did not emerge from a vacuum. A torrent of civil lawsuits had been building for months, even years. As of April 2025, reports indicated a staggering 63 lawsuits filed against him. Each lawsuit represented a voice, an accuser stepping forward with stories of alleged abuse. These were not isolated incidents, according to the filings. They painted a picture of a pattern of behavior. The sheer volume of claims was overwhelming. It suggested a dark undercurrent beneath the glittering surface of Combs' empire. The legal documents detailed accusations spanning decades. This was a long, dark history, now coming to light. The allegations contained within these civil complaints were deeply disturbing. They included sexual assault, persistent harassment, and sex trafficking. Some claims involved victims who were minors as young as 10 years old. Incidents were reported as recently as 2022. Rodney "Lil Rod" Jones Jr., a former producer, filed a 105-page federal complaint. He accused Diddy of running an illegal racketeering enterprise. This enterprise allegedly involved drugs and sex trafficking. Another Jane Doe lawsuit alleged she was gang-raped by Diddy and his associates when she was only 17. Even Cassie Ventura, Diddy's former partner, filed a lawsuit alleging rape and physical abuse, though it was settled and dismissed shortly after filing. Many accusers described harrowing experiences. Over a dozen women came forward with stories. They claimed they were drugged. They alleged they were lured under false pretenses. Many reported sexual assault. One specific allegation detailed a woman being drugged at Diddy's Miami mansion. These were not vague claims. Accusers reportedly provided compelling evidence to support their stories. This evidence included text messages. It included photographs. Medical records were also submitted. Each piece of evidence was a fragment of a larger, terrifying narrative. The victims detailed how they were allegedly coerced and controlled. Their stories spoke of profound trauma. Prosecutors in the federal case echoed some of these themes. They alleged that Diddy orchestrated and recorded coerced sex acts. These acts were chillingly referred to as freak-offs. The prosecution also accused Diddy of witness tampering. They claimed he used his vast business empire to facilitate and cover up crimes. This included physical violence and drugging victims. Incriminating recordings were allegedly used to ensure obedience. Bribes were supposedly offered to influence witnesses. Diddy's defense team vehemently denied these allegations. They characterized the acts as involving consenting adults. They dismissed the claims as fabrications and blatant money grabs. The battle lines were clearly drawn. The Diddy scandal cast a long, dark shadow. It extended beyond Combs himself. Jay-Z and Beyoncé, the undisputed power couple of the music industry, found themselves under intense public scrutiny. This was not due to any direct legal ties to Diddy's current federal charges. No official documents implicated them in his alleged crimes. However, their long-standing association with Combs became a liability. In the court of public opinion, proximity can breed suspicion. The couple, known for their carefully managed image, faced a barrage of questions. Their past interactions with Diddy were re-examined under a harsh new light. The glittering world they inhabited suddenly seemed tainted. Their silence on the Diddy matter only amplified the speculation. As the allegations mounted and the details of the raids emerged, the public waited for a statement. None came. This silence was interpreted in various ways. Some saw it as a strategic legal decision, a prudent move to avoid entanglement. Others viewed it as evasiveness, a failure to condemn alleged abuses within their sphere. Lawyers for both Jay-Z and Beyoncé reportedly took action. They issued cease and desist letters to media outlets. These letters aimed to stop the spread of unverified claims. It was a common tactic to control misinformation. Yet it also fueled the perception that there was something to hide, or at least, something they desperately wanted to keep private. Amidst this turmoil, the voice of singer Jaguar Wright resurfaced. Wright had long been an outspoken critic of the music industry. For years she had made explosive claims about abuse of power. She spoke of exploitation within elite music circles. The Diddy controversy brought renewed attention to her interviews. Her past statements, once dismissed by some as outlandish, suddenly seemed prescient. She reiterated her allegations, painting a picture of a deeply corrupt system. While many of her claims remained unverified and did not constitute legal evidence, they resonated with the current climate. Her words found a newly receptive audience, eager for answers. Jaguar Wright's allegations, though not directly tied to Diddy's legal case, underscored recurring themes. These were themes of power, pervasive secrecy, and a culture of silence. Her narrative suggested that what was happening with Diddy might not be an isolated case. Instead, it could be symptomatic of a larger, systemic problem within the entertainment world. The focus on Jay-Z and Beyoncé, their silence, and Wright's resurfaced claims all contributed to a growing unease. The public began to question the very foundations of an industry that produced so much of their culture. The glamour seemed to be peeling away, revealing something far more sinister underneath. The Diddy scandal erupted in the age of social media. This was a crucial factor in its rapid escalation. Platforms like X, Instagram, and TikTok became digital town squares. Information and misinformation spread like wildfire. Unverified footage, rumors, and speculative theories circulated endlessly. Every new development was dissected and debated by millions. The sheer volume of online commentary was unprecedented. Social media amplified the fallout, turning a legal crisis into a global media spectacle. It created an environment where public perception could shift dramatically in hours, not days. The narrative was constantly evolving, often outpacing factual reporting. This intense online scrutiny highlighted the phenomenon of cancel culture. Reputations built over years proved incredibly fragile. Association or even mere speculation could lead to severe public backlash. This often occurred before facts were fully established through due process. The Diddy case became a prime example. Individuals connected to Combs, even tangentially, faced intense criticism. The court of public opinion was in full session, delivering swift judgments. While legal proceedings moved at a deliberate pace, online sentiment was immediate and often unforgiving. This created a parallel track of justice, one driven by emotion and viral trends rather than evidence and law. The distinction between legal consequences and public opinion became starkly apparent. Diddy's legal team continued to fight the charges in court. They maintained his innocence. They argued against the evidence presented. However, in the public sphere, a different battle was being waged. The graphic nature of the allegations, the stories of the victims, and the sheer weight of the accusations had already swayed many. For a significant portion of the public, Diddy was already condemned. This divergence raised complex questions about justice in the modern era. Can a public figure ever truly clear their name once the tide of public opinion has turned so decisively, regardless of the legal outcome? The legal situation involving Sean Diddy Combs is far from over. It remains an ongoing saga, marked by intense federal scrutiny and numerous unresolved lawsuits. The date today is May 22, 2025, and the future is uncertain. There is a persistent undercurrent of fear that other high-profile names could eventually be implicated. This could happen through civil suits or even further federal indictments. Such developments would move the situation into truly uncharted territory. As of now, no verified legal documents tie Jay-Z or Beyoncé directly to Diddy's current charges. However, the questions surrounding them, and the industry at large, linger. The Diddy scandal is more than just one man's downfall, it is a reckoning for an entire system.